back with another review. Today we're looking at An Ember in the Ashes, a book which I gave a resounding meh. But let's read the synopsis, shall we? Got my laptop right here. Let's do this. The cat does not understand that both she and the laptop will not fit on my lap. She's gonna have to settle for the arm of the chair, and she's not happy about it. Anyway, Laia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Under the martial empire, defiance is met with death. Those who do not vow their blood and bodies to the empire risk the execution of their loved ones and the destruction of all they hold dear. It is in this brutal world, inspired by ancient Rome, that Laia lives with her grandparents and her older brother. The family ekes out an existence in the empire's impoverished back streets. They do not challenge the empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, Laia is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from the rebels, who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the empire's great military academy. There, Laia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. Elias wants only to be free of the tyranny he's being trained to enforce. He and Laia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined, and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. Bum bum bum. So when I started this book, I could not shake the feeling that I should have liked it more. The premise seemed intriguing to me. The world, while not very well built, is okay, and I don't need a lot of huge world building if I can get into the characters, which you all know about me if you've been paying any attention at all. However, once again, the characters were where we fell short, and a book cannot do that if it wants to keep my attention. The main female character, Laia, has the long-suffering whiny problem where she just has it so hard, you guys. And her family is being killed, and she has to join the resistance even though she doesn't want to. And then she has to, with the resistance, she has to go be a spy on the commandant, the military leader, who is essentially Lady Hitler. And yeah, all we hear about is how hard Laia's life is, and it is a hard life, but you get sick of it. As a reader, there's only so much you can handle before you tone out, before you're desensitized to the amount of terribleness that is happening to a character. The male lead, Elias, started out a lot more interesting to me, possibly because, once again, I was listening to a recorded book, and the man who was voicing Elias's parts had a sexy voice. Of course, his life sucks too. Everyone's life sucks. Get used to it. Happiness is just gone. And we're just gonna dive right into one of my main problems with this book, and that is the character of Helene, who initially showed promise to be one of the most interesting characters and rapidly went downhill for me. Helene is Elias's partner and the second best student at the war school. She is also the only female allowed to be a member of this school for completely unexplained reasons. So she showed promise. She was a badass. The book kept telling us that she was a badass, and she had to be, because she was the only female in this group of male murderers. These kids are trained to kill. These kids are trained to have no respect for anyone. They are the elite warriors. They frequently take prostitutes. They are allowed to rape female slaves. And so Helene has had to deal with this. The book assures us that she's used to being leered at, ogled. Her fellow soldiers should have at least probably tried to molest her on several occasions, but the book tells us that since she's such a badass, she could just chop off their genitals before they could blink, you know? And I believed you, book. I believed you. And then some guy in her group, grabs her in a molesty way and starts, making comments toward her in a molesty way. And instead of reacting the way that she should have, which was to kick his ass until he didn't want sex again for a very long time, instead she turned to jelly, and Elias had to rescue her. Twice this happened. Twice. And in their society, it is really unclear to me why she doesn't just castrate him. She could make it look like an accident. Oh no, he fell and his genitals got chopped off. Oops. But instead we get this character that we are constantly assured is a badass, who in practice turns out not to be. And then, nail in the coffin, she gets a Disney princess singing healing power, and I was just done. And of course, Elias, who has made it presumably through puberty and is now an adult, has only now noticed that his partner is a woman, and an attractive one. And, conversely, Helene has also suddenly now noticed that her partner is an attractive man. Why? They made it through their crazy hormone teenage years without anything, but now we start to get, oh, they're starting to maybe fall in love with each other, and Helene gets stupid jealous, and she gets bitchy jealous, and I hate it. Why can't we have a male-female friendship where love never comes into it? Clearly they made it this far in their lives without love coming into their relationship and their partnership. Why can't we just keep them as partners? The bond is just as strong, guys. We're going to take just a tiny break from Helene to talk about the whole mask thing. They are training to be masks. These people who are like these elite warriors, and they wear masks. And the masks somehow join with their faces eventually, so that all of their facial expressions can be expressed through the mask, and the mask cannot be taken off. Which is fine, but weird. It is used to show that Elias isn't part of that world because his mask never melds with his face, and he is able to take it on and off. But it kind of feels pointless, because if you can read everyone's facial expressions through their masks, they might as well not be wearing them, and most of the time I forgot that the characters were wearing them. Now let's talk about Laia again. She has been sent to spy on Lady Hitler, and when she was sent in, she was given 0 instructions how to behave like a slave, which Laia has never had to do before, or even what she was actually supposed to be looking for on her spy mission. So, when Laia returns with the first round of useless information to the people who sent her into this situation, they finally think that it might be a good idea to tell her how to behave like a slave and what she's looking for. It doesn't really matter because she refuses to behave like a slave and gets away with it all the time, even though we are told that, Lady Hitler severely punishes her slaves for any little thing. And we also have a love triangle with her, because she somehow is in love with Elias, and also with a cute rebel boy, whose name I don't remember. He made that little of an impression on me. And I so aggressively did not care about any of these love triangles that I just imagined that they weren't even there. Another problem that I had overall with this book is we are once again put into a world where characters don't believe in magic. Not really. They kind of believe in prophecy and that kind of magic, but they don't believe in magical creatures at all. And then magical creatures show up and the characters completely take it in their stride. It's like if one day a unicorn walked into my house and I was like, I guess unicorns exist after all. And then I fed it a carrot. And while that would be awesome, that would probably not be actually what happened if a unicorn walked into my house. Listen, book. If you are going to have a world where people don't believe in magical creatures and then magical creatures show up, you gotta have them react adequately. Otherwise, just have them know about these magical creatures to begin with. And at one point, we have time for Laia to go dancing at a festival because her evil boss totally won't notice that her slaves, because she takes another slave with her, are just gone. And her boss does notice, but nothing really comes of it because Elias pretends to rape her. And that brings us to my final point about this book and my biggest problem with it, and that is the use of rape. Rape and attempted rape are all over this story. Now, I don't have a problem with a world in which rape exists and a lot of rape exists. A lot of people kind of use rape to make their fantasy world seem more gritty and real. It's based on Rome, and I'm sure there was a lot of rape going on. However, the constant use of rape in stories as a plot line, or attempted rape in stories as a plot line, I don't like it. Especially when the male character, the male hero character, he saves both girls at least twice each from being raped. And I have a problem with that. Not only that these girls were put in a situation where they were going to be raped, but also that our male hero has to get them out of it. Which completely robs female characters of any power, especially if they should have power, like Helene. It says men will put these female characters into these situations and men will get them out again, and there's nothing women can do about it. And if you are sensitive to rape and sexual assault, this book might trigger you. So I would stay away, because there is a lot of rape and attempted rape going on in this book. And rape is treated as so ordinary that, you know, it's expected that as a slave you will be raped. It is, if you're found to be pretty, it's that whole, you know, blaming the victim. It's like, well, you're pretty, so of course he raped you. And I know that this is a fantasy society based on ancient Rome or whatever, and a lot of rape probably did happen, but the normalization of it and the treatment of women and the way that these women end up dealing with the rape, i.e. they are saved by a different man, really bothered me in this story. I believe rape can be used successfully in a story, but this book I do not feel did that at all. Also, this book only really mentioned the rape of women and not the rape of men. Female slaves raped all over the place. Male slaves or other men in this school where there are only boys except one girl? No. Only rape against women. Dang those women's for being so rapeable. So those are my thoughts on An Ember in the Ashes. I was very disappointed because reading the synopsis of this book, I thought I was really going to like it a lot more. I had high hopes. I liked the idea of Elias's character as a gentle guy who is forced into a brutal world and he doesn't really have a choice. And I would have loved Helene's character had she not been a romantic interest and turned into a total catty girly girl, and not had constant rape threats against her that completely turned her to jelly for no reason, and that she didn't get a Disney princess singing power. Anyway, the women in this book really dissatisfied me at every turn, and the male character slowly grew out of favor with me as well. What did you think of An Ember in the Ashes? Did you like it? Have you been sitting through this entire review actually liking this book? Hey, good on you. Congrats for making it all the way through this. What are some points that maybe I missed that made you like this book? How do you feel about the way that this book uses rape and sexual assault? And how do you feel about the way that this book treats the female characters? I'm really interested to know. Now, I bet you're waiting for me to tell you to like and subscribe. Not exactly. If you enjoy my videos, if you genuinely enjoy them, the best thing that you can do for me is share them with friends. Share them on your Facebook page. Share them on your Tumblr, or some other place that people share videos on the internet. I'm kind of old, I don't know. Twitter, I guess? Anyway, if you genuinely enjoy what you see, and you feel like your friends would also enjoy it, then share. And that'll help me out a lot. Plus, I can make more friends, and we can, you know, grow our circle of awesomeness. And also, it'll make Kinshu happy. And she's never happy, as evidenced by the fact that she's trying to plot my demise, even as we speak. Kinshu is a warrior princess, alright? This is what we're talking about here. I will see you guys again next time with whatever video I decide to do next. Bye!